We got them right here. Pillars in hip hop, legends, architects, scientists. Come on, man. We got them right here. Grammy nominated. Scratch Vision is up in here. The one and only, the legendary, the iconic DJ Scratch. Give him a round of applause. Woo! We got the Abbott up in here. Resurrector. Come on, Bobby Digital himself. Give it up for Bobby Diggs. The RZA. Come on. Give a big round of applause. Yo, first and foremost, I miss y'all, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, yo.
Good to see y'all, man.
Absolutely, man. That might be, I'm going to go ahead and say it on record, and HB, you can back me up, baby Tracy G. Saturday afternoon Kung Fu Theater. That song is the hardest song in rap to me right now.
Wow.
Big round of applause. That's the hardest song in rap to me. And I'm going to get straight to my first question because I went through this over and over last night. And I was going through the lyrics, Rza, and it just raised so many questions to me how I think about the history of the world. And what you know, I have these theories about messaging, about how history has been changed over the centuries, especially if you go back to the 15th and 16th century, that it was important for Europeans or colonists to kind of change and bend history to justify this atrocity that we call slavery that was to take place, right? And so you had to separate human beings, and white superiority is all based on I'm more superior than you, which we know factually is incorrect. But it was made to justify some of the activities. So when I hear lyrics like they breed mythology, social consciousness not being taught in sociology, but sexuality is being taught in today's biology. Your psychic power is being dumbed down by psychology. You know, I wanted to get your thoughts on modern day westernized psychology. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, like I said, they're dumbing us down. You know, if we keep feeding false images, false ideas, and making us think that what ain't real is real, and making us doubt ourselves, because it builds doubt within the entire population, but especially in the Black community, it builds this doubt that we are not as great as we are. You know what I mean? And you dumb down, you forget your own intuition, yo. You know what I mean? You got that intuition when something is going to happen, something's happening, connecting to your brother or your loved one. You got that in you, right? But it's getting dumbed down because it's like you be taught that you don't even have that sense, the sense of awareness. And it ain't just a sense of smell, taste, but it's a sense of awareness that we have. Right, and you think about in our community, let's just look at why do we have an attraction to greatness? It's because we come from greatness. You know what I mean? But we've been smothered away from greatness. As you're talking about this history of us being, kind of manufactured once they separated, the world into all these different borders, and brought us over here to this part of the world and isolated us on different islands as well. You know what I mean? We look at our own Jamaican brothers, our Trinidadian brothers, our brothers from Bahamas, Tobagos. We look at them like they're not us sometimes. You know what I mean? Haitian brothers. And yet there's a unifying thing that we have. And psychically, we know this is why Bob Marley's song, you hear it? It works everywhere. Hip hop works everywhere because there's a psychic connection. But those powers are being dumbed down.
What role do you feel religion has played in perpetuating that what you're saying right now? This whole idea of us, things being dumbed down, because people have argued, fought, and killed in the name of religion under this same tutelage. What are your thoughts about religion?
Yes, religion is a strange word because it comes from the Greek. Religios, which basically means to rely on something other than yourself. And yet, when you go back and read the words of Jesus, Prophet Muhammad, Buddha, they're always telling you to gain self-knowledge. You know what I mean? And so religion is kind of explained to us in a way that make us rely on something that's outside of our bodies, outside of our worlds. You know, you could get into a big argument with somebody over Jesus. You know what I mean? There could be a big argument over him. And at the end of the day, yeah, he's a man that that was not arguing. You know what I mean? He didn't, you know, one of the greatest lessons, I'll just say something about Jesus, one of the greatest lessons I caught from the Bible about his personality, right, is as he was walking, he came across the lady that wasn't from his tribe. And she asked him for a blessing. He was like, yo, I'm not here to bless you. I'm here to bless my people. You know what I mean? And she told him that even the dog is allowed to eat the crumbs that falls from the master's table. And he was like, You know what I mean? And he blessed her because at the end of the day, it's for the world. But he was able to accept wisdom from outside. Sometimes it's that simple thing. So point being made when I'm saying that is that we, or the world has separated us through religion. You know what I mean? Even within Christianity itself, you got denominations, you know, Presbyterian, Baptist, Lutheran, all these different denominations. And it's been done, you know, consciously, I think, to separate the people, to divide them, to propagate them. And for us, for the Black community, it hurt the most because we had got to a point, and there was a generation of us that was like, we sat home and prayed, right, for somebody to bring us food, clothing, and shelter when the same being we are praying to has already blessed us with the ability to get the food, clothing, and shelter. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, even the ants, birds, and bees, as it says in the Holy Quran, he says, even the birds are allowed to eat every day. You think I'm going to deny man, the greatest creation? No. Man has all the abilities, but we've been, once again, stripped of those abilities because we was taught to sit at home and wait, you know? Not to go here one more time, but when the brothers, when he started mailing those checks out, those stimulus checks.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody want to go back to work after that, kid. They're like, yo, what, work? No, I'm gonna sit there and wait for it to come in the mail. You know what I mean? Versus our counterpart of our culture, not counter, but let's just say some of our Caucasian brothers or even educated brothers, they actually took money and invested into stocks and companies, to whereas they went out and planted those seeds in those companies and corporations, and now they got money coming in the mail forever. Because the money that the government is sending ain't gonna come forever. That's just that's a Band-Aid. Religion has been something that's been a big equation in our society. It's been a big problem because of the lack of understanding of what it really is. And it means to rely on something. And every prophet and every great teacher has always told us to seek knowledge of ourselves.
Rza is here, man. DJ Scratch is here. Saturday afternoon, Kung Fu Theater. What a great project. HB, you want to jump on this?
I do. Hello to both of you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you. And you know this platform has always been one where we just celebrate our culture and give back flowers. Rza, I haven't had opportunity to see you or congratulate you. I am such a fan of the American Saga. I'm like, I just can't believe, like, I felt like I knew the story, but then watching it, I'm just like, I feel like I'm constantly learning more. And just talk a little bit about manifestation, if you will, or what you thought. I know you wanted it to be successful, obviously, but are you even surprised at how we are receiving this, the people receiving what you guys put together?
I'm thankful, to be honest. You know, I was talking to my Wu brothers, and we took a look at exactly what the show was doing in many ways. It was, in most shows we're seeing now, a lot of great entertainment out there, but the black on black and the shoot you in the head killer mentality, you know, has been permeating us, right? And it was like, yo, we actually have a show where brothers are putting their differences aside and coming together, forming unity. And you don't see that a lot. You know what I mean? No, you don't see that a lot. So I'm proud of that. And then also within that, you're seeing brothers picking up books. You know, you're seeing brothers learning mathematics. You know what I mean? A lot of the world at one point thought mathematics was, I don't know, something that was anti, you know, something that wasn't going to be healthy and useful. But it is healthy and useful because a pattern of thinking right? It's just like a pattern of A, B, C, D, E, F, G's. It helps you form words. Mathematics help you form thoughts and a pattern of thinking of how to deal with actions. And those actions help Wu-Tang become who we are. But I'm very proud and very thankful that the audience received it. And it's beautiful that, you know, it's an American saga. So when I say American, you know, I'm talking black, brown, white, yellow, and red, and native. I mean, we all are living this experience that no other country in the world is living our experience. Keep that clear in your head. You know what I mean? We've been around the world. You can't even get the same tissue. You know what I mean? You might get some.
You might
get some. Start breaking on your fingers. You know what I mean? We got a very unique experience here that we could appreciate. But I think I'm gonna say this last thing, that sometimes us as black men and women, we feel separated from America. But I'm gonna tell you something, yo, we should feel the most American. Because in all reality, before this was called the United States of America, we were here.
Yep.
We were here hundreds of years before it was even called.
Round of applause for that.
Yep.
Hey, before you move, I'm gonna get in there, Tracy. I just
you got to. You got to.
You know, okay, there's a lot of church happening right here. Africans landed on this continent way before Christopher Columbus. It's well documented. I got books if you want to read some of the. And then listen, these folks omitted it in their own notes. You can find notes of some of those early colonists that talk about the people that they were met with by and greeted before they even arrived here. Very important question. Scratch, we're going to come to you, brother. I see all those plaques. They're blinding me right now on your wall. we'll get to it in a second. What made you put Sway and Tech in the Wu-Tang Clan America?
You know what?
Season?
Wow.
They want you to know this.
Oh, my gosh. I felt like I set him up, too, y'all. I'm sorry, Rza. I'm sorry. That wasn't an alley-oops, Rza, for Sway at all. Damn it.
What made you immortalize us, man? Tech and music supervisor, Rich Nice, too.
Shout
Talk about it, Rza.
Talk
about it.
Always. That was a freaking alley-oop, man. Damn it.
That was fun, though, right? You appreciate that? Y'all, was fun? No, you know, we know it was Sway and Tech in the world famous Wake Up show. You know, we never forget the first time we went down to the Bay Area, San Francisco, Oakland. Who was staying there? You know, Tech was very prominent. You yourself as well. You know, Tech actually gave me the advice like, you got to stay here, man. You got to like live in the you know, in the area. You can't just pop in and pop out, yo, and think somebody gonna be wanting to check you. You got to kind of get into it and feel it. He was like, you know what? We're gonna take that advice. You ever see the movie The Mac, which is also based in your hometown, right?
Oakland, baby. Talk about us, Rza.
But he said, in The Mac, I never forget the line when the guy sat there and told him all this stuff. I said, yo, we gotta get strong. We gotta start bringing things together to make more money and help our community and build up what we're aiming at. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna take that philosophy for myself. You know what I mean? And point being made is that when he told me all that, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna take that philosophy and utilize it. And it really helped Wu in the Wake Up show. And you was on KMEL back then.
Yeah.
You guys playing our record, it triggered that West Coast move. It validated it. And so, yeah, of course I'm gonna throw you up in the joint like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you behave, man. You know I'm immortalized. Go ahead, Tracy. Say hi to Scratch. Go ahead, Tracy.
What up, Scratch? What up, Rza? Listen, I want to use one of Rza's bars off of this project for the title track for this project, Saturday Afternoon Kung Fu, and use it as a question for the both of you guys, Rza, because you have a line where you say, I bought a mansion, but I still sleep in my mother's room. And I found that interesting because of the amount of success you guys have. And a lot of times when your lifestyle elevates, it's hard to, you know, enjoy your past fruit. You know what I'm saying? You kind of like elevate beyond it, you know what I mean? And so I'm curious how you guys have been able to maintain a sense of like humility. What are some of the things that you still love from your past, even though you're in a completely different tax bracket now?
Let's start with Scratch.
Well, for me, that's a perfect line too, because, you know, I live in a mansion, but I sleep in my mother's room. I live in a mansion, but my studio's still right in the hood where I grew up. Sway's been here before.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm right in the
It's
hood, right where I grew up.
hood.
It's super in the cut though. You would not know it's here. It's super in the cut, but I'm still right in my hood. And that keeps me grounded. Like I still see, everybody that I grew up with, the next generations on and on, the kids, the grandkids, now they're young adults. So that keeps me grounded. So that's basically it for me.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can echo. I can echo. Like I've been blessed to be able to be, kind of like Sway. We could be up with the leaders of the world. You know what I mean? Then we could be in our hip hop family, our big Hollywood celebrities, and yet be at the simplest small spot in the hood on a corner or something like that. You know what I mean? And be able to be there. I think humility is important. At one point, you first get into hip hop, you borrow this jewelry and you want to show, hey, look at me. And then it comes a point you realize, like, yo, wait a minute, look at me. Don't look at my jewelry. Don't look at all that. It's me. I'm the diamond here. And so I think it's very important. And then I would just say, when you think about, a lot of my father said this to me. We were estranged for years, and then in my 40s, we rekindled this love, and it's a blessing. And it's and that's after my mom's passed. But he was like, rappers don't got no fathers. You know what I mean? Even if they got one, because the fathers were so absent in so many of our lives. And so our greatest joy was somehow taking care of our mothers. You know what I mean? And for young people out there now, this generation, I don't know if they're feeling it the same. That the importance of mother and father, but importance of your parents. There's very few commandments. One is honor thy mother and father. And so when I was, at my prime, I never had no gold plaques on my walls or none of that. It was all in my mother's house. You know what I mean? And I would, we had the mansion, but that was like, my mother got all the accolades. And when I meant by, sleep in her room, it's like I would go there and just lay by her feet because I know the struggle that she went through. I'm from 11 children, so, you know what I mean? So I know the struggle.
Wow.
That she went
Six
through.
boys.
Yeah, and for us, 8. So we know that the struggle was crazy. And for us to be able to give her some relief on that struggle, it was a blessing. But I'll just say that to anybody out there, or these young brothers out getting the new money, brothers in Africa's getting money now. Honor thy mother and father and make sure you take care of them first, even before you take care of yourself. You know what I mean? In all reality.
Got it. Thank you.
DJ Scratch is here. Rza is here. It's a lot of people on the phone lines. This project is really, really classic to me. It's vintage, but at the same time, it's futuristic. And I think that's a testament to who you are as artist. But it does have a Bobby Digital sound to me, Scratch. And I know you worked on a lot of production, and I know y'all worked together before, right? But what was it like working on this? I remember when the announcement was made during Versus, when Red and Meth was on stage that this project was coming. That was way back then, right? This is that same project, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So this time around, what was it like? Like, it's the goals and the aims are they different now? Are you aiming for the same? Are you hoping the same people hear it, or are you trying to reach a different generation?
Well, man, like back, 30 years ago, when we made music, when we made albums with EPMD, we never targeted an audience while we were making music. We just made music. You know what I'm saying? And whoever liked it, and whoever didn't. But the people who didn't like it, they'll eventually like it. So it's the same approach with me anytime I make music, unless, somebody gives me, unless I'm working with like a younger artist and I know what they want and what their fan base is. So just as a producer and understanding the artist that you're producing for, you just got to make the music that their fan base get. And just me being a DJ, I have the advantage to understand that. So for example, like this is Rza, this is the head of Wu-Tang, this is the Abbott. I'm not going to give him some dance club shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I know the fan base. I am one of the biggest Wu-Tang fans, so I understand the assignment. So I just wanted to make that Wu-Tang sound of those sonics. I wanted to bring back the kung fu skits, the kung fu dialogue in between songs and some into songs, because I know that's what the fan base is, because I'm a Wu-Tang fan. So that's the approach as a producer.
As a DJ, do you feel like, how do you feel like playlist impacted the art of DJing? Do you think it was beneficial, or do you think it took something away from it and hurt it?
Playlists on radio?
On the DSPs, digital, the streaming platforms, and it became, at one point you had to get your song to the hottest mixtape DJ, or the hottest club DJ, or the hottest mix show DJ. Now it's, I need to get my song to that big playlist that somebody's curating from.
It's a pro and a con. Like DSPs never had a situation where they had DJs like mix DJs is actually mixing on the DSPs. The cons, what the pros for the listeners is that you can make your own playlist as a customer. You can make your own playlist because you might not like how the DJ serving you music. You listen to DJs now, like for example, if they had DJs on the DSPs, a lot of DJs don't let the song play for 10 seconds. You want to hear the song. You're paying your subscription. You don't want, DJs will cut the fucking verse off on Scenario before Buster. Like, you don't do that.
Hey,
I've seen it. There's DJs that will cut. There's DJs that will cut off the engine number 9 on The Choice Is Yours. So for a customer, like people hate that shit. It's like, no, like you're DJing for yourself, DJ for us. So as customers, those playlists are good because you can hear the whole song, you can hear it the way you want. Nobody's screaming over it. There's not a bunch of drops over it, so you just want to enjoy the music. But on the other hand, there are people that want DJs they don't want to be the DJ. They want the DJ to serve them the music, but serve it the right way. So there's pros and cons with the DSPs, with the playlists.
Bizzle, you want to jump on it?
Yeah, so Rza, Scratch said that he understood the assignment, be with the charge of working with someone like you and someone on your level. So then I ask you, was your approach different than going into the studio this time, not as a producer, but as the lyricist that you are and the artist that you are? Is it different now? Was it ever a time you needed a whole bunch of people in the studio with you versus now you more laid back, you know what your assignment is, you go in, y'all two just in there by yourself knocking it out? What was the approach for you then this time?
Yeah, for me it was less stressful because I didn't have to worry. It's like he was the pilot, I was the co-pilot, so I didn't have to really worry about grabbing that handle, you know what I mean? Because I had a good pilot. So I could just go ahead and write the lyrics, try them, 10 different times so I get the flow of what we want, make sure, it's more in the pocket, say what I want to say. And then the beautiful joy of it is that after we got it like into a structure and it's basically my part is done, I can actually hand it to Scratch and not worry about it, go do something else because the producer.
The alley-oop.
Yeah, the producer, people don't realize, like I always just say about people like, how come you in the Wu and why they somebody, sometimes, you get the Wu friction that happen. I'm like, listen, man, I'm the first one in the studio and the last one to leave, man. You know what I mean? That's what a producer is. Sometimes, like I remember Meth said, and he was 200% correct. He was like, yo, he didn't hear Into the 36 Chambers until I finished it. Everybody was coming in. It's like when you do a movie, you go and do your scene. You don't know what the movie going to be until you go to the theaters. You know what I mean? And that's the job of a producer. So for me, being able to hand it over to Scratch in confidence that Dad, he gonna slay this shit. You know what I mean? And we only had maybe 1 or 2 ping pong conversations of like, that was a little out of the pocket right there. All right, cool. Or like, man, I thought I left that gap for your Scratch. Yeah, cool, I know that. But it was such a seamless thing because I was 200% confident in him. And I think that I heard Scratch say through these interviews that The advantage of being a producer myself was when he sent the tracks, I said what the track needed. I didn't get on the song Fate of the World and start talking about my Benz, all right? You know what I mean? Every song, the energy is spitting the song itself, you know what I mean? The beat itself.
So this makes me curious for the both of y'all, especially since you're such prolific artists. When you guys pass, when you transition, you know, and you're just spirits and no longer humans, would you guys love if everything that was on the cutting room floor, you know what I mean? The bars, the production that didn't make it into projects. Do you care if people are digging them up and want to use that? Or do you feel like it should be respected? I didn't want the public to hear this, so it should still stay in Pandora's box.
Myself, my saying is die empty. Don't leave nothing on the cut room floor. Don't leave nothing on the cut room floor. Don't make me. It's like don't make anything that you don't want people to hear. So I don't have anything on the cutting room floor that's not something that I wouldn't want people to hear. If it's something that hasn't been released or anything like that, it's definitely dope because I delete it. If I don't like it, I delete it.
Okay.
Because
okay.
I see because I see, you know, because I see families and people that, you know, they're in charge of estates when people pass away and they put out music and they put out stuff that they wouldn't even approved of when they were alive. So I think about stuff like that as I got, you know, I got older. Like, nah, if it's not dope, if I don't like it, I'm deleting it. So it'll never get out.
Got it. Got it.
I never thought about it. So, and man, it's gonna be that. I mean, I try not to even think about death, to be honest with you, but I don't know. To be honest, I really don't know. You know, I used to do different drugs when I was younger, and I recorded myself. So y'all may find some crazy.
I was gonna say that, Tracy, because the challenge for Rza may be different than the challenge for Scratch. Like Scratch may not care, like an ill beat, okay, maybe nobody, but when you say shit, you just at a certain point in your life, they be like, wow, why did he delete that?
hey, Rza, just go in the hard drives and start deleting that shit.
It's gonna be a treasure hunt, bro.
Catch me one night thinking.
we gotta get that one. Hey, we got a lot of people on the phone lines. The lines have lit up. And
of course.
Man, why not, man? Look who we got here, man. We got DJ Scratch. We got Rza, Saturday Afternoon Kung Fu Theater. I'm going to take these calls, Rza, but I'll be remiss. We just had this long conversation about Slaughterhouse, you know, Joel Ortiz, Crooked Eye, Joe Budden, and Royce the 5'9", and they've been airing out a lot of their dirty laundry. And you're starting to find out about the inner workings of what went on with that group, why they haven't been able to put an album in the 12 years, 10 years they haven't been able to put out an album, and then you're seeing these conversations happen. And it just kind of reminded me of the Wu-Tang Clan, you know, like I think you guys were the masters. You've been the masters of you know, letting the public know about the frictions, the lawsuits, you know, of the disparities, and it would hurt my heart personally as somebody who knew you all, and I never played into that at all with stories and with the other artists that's a part of Wu-Tang, all the members, because I love y'all like brothers. But I also noticed something, man, about you all, and I wonder if the same could be true for Slaughterhouse. To me, and you could correct me when I'm wrong, when those truths came out, when you hear Raekwon talk about deals he felt like he was shortchanged on, or you hear Method Man or these different folks talk about ways they felt like they were wronged in the business, you would think that you guys would never galvanize again. But I've seen you guys consistently over and over come back together, go on a tour, maybe do a project or something. Do you think these airing outs of dirty laundry actually helped you guys in a way? How does it strengthen the relationship between y'all as brothers?
I don't know, Sway, but what I will say is that everybody has a perspective. That the most I've learned from Wu-Tang, especially if you watch the Mike's and Men documentary, I learned that everybody has a perspective, and you can't see what's behind behind you right now. I see the stuff behind you. Scratch don't see those plaques behind him. We see it. He see us. And when describing the story, he made describe, yo, I saw all of us on the screen. We made describe, yo, we saw that EPMD plaque. You know what I mean? So perspective is so important, and you got to accept it whether you agree with it or not. You know, I don't think you really hear me air out dirty laundry because I'm not interested in it. I don't see the flaws like that. Like, I don't see the flaw where the public needs to know the flaw, because positive education always correct errors. But I will say, if it's brotherhood, and Wu-Tang is brotherhood, brothers say all type of things. Brothers, man, your brother may wear your sneakers, your girlfriend may fall in love with your brother. There's all type of things that happen, but it's still your brother, right? And so you still will go out for that same common cause. For Wu, it's been that way. And then for me in particular, and all it takes is one, in all reality, it takes one individual in the circle to have to take the higher ground, because then he can lead others to the higher ground. There was a moment in a quick story, I'll make it quick. We was in Australia on a Wu tour. After, at the time, U-Guard was suing me and everything. And we get to Australia, his manager didn't take care of his hotels, he didn't have his credit card. He's still like this, and he needed accommodations. And I whipped mine out and took care of it. They still come over like, man, only a Wu-Tang. This nigga suing you, and you paying for his food. I said, yo, because he's my brother. He's my brother. Business is business. I think EPMD said it best. Was it business, never personal? Is that one of the albums? Yo, that line is so important because business is business. You can't, you actually got to, as a man, separate the two. You know what I mean? Don't take it personal. Keep the personal, but let the business be the business.
And one thing, man, that I've learned, just to add on to that, with EPMD, I learned, like, once I became like into my 40s, to never take business personal. Never take business personal. A lot of people take business personal. And when you take business personal, that's when all of the crazy shit, you know what I mean? It gets crazy, but yeah, never take business personal. Deal with the business and don't take it personal.
What was that great scene in the movie? I watched it. Kramer versus Kramer, right?
Yeah.
Going back, Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
He's the best guy at the job, but now he got to take care of his son. The boss loves him. He's giving him all these big raises. And then, he's getting a little sloppy because he's being a single dad, and his boss sits across the table from him and says, hey, I'm going to have to let you go. I have to fire you. He's like, fire me. I thought we was friends. I thought we was this. I said, yeah, we are. But I got to let you go. I love you. I love the kid, but business is business.
It's business.
Business is business. Man, we got DJ Scratch and Rza on the line with us right now. In case you're wondering, Rza did return Heather B's phone years ago when he stole it.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a throwback.
Rza, like, what y'all talking about?
I took your phone by mistake one day. I probably did do something like that.
No, you did.
Did he record anything on it, Heather?
No, he didn't record no lyrics. But what happened was, I was like, Rza, I think you got my phone. He's like, no, I don't have it. And he walked off. And then I was like, Kelly, I legit think he took my phone by mistake. His phone is here. And we're like calling my phone, but he's still not picking it up. And then Kelly chased him back down the hallway. He's like, oh, word, Bong, here's her phone.
Hit you with the bong. Bong made it all good. Once you go
Bong makes everything good. That's why when I see Rza, I'm like, Bong, because it just makes it good.
Wow. I'm going to get to these phone lines. Scratch, today you were a topic of conversation. We had a man who called. We do something called Good News Thursday, where you celebrate where you are now, even though you might have gone through struggle. There's beauty in the struggle. And he became a DJ after spending like 16 years in jail. And he said, man, what? And he had a lot of naysayers around him, but he said something that you said and Jazzy Jeff said about practice. No matter where you go, how far you reach, what levels you obtain, you still got to practice. And I told him you was on the show today. And so meet DJ Sammy B. He's on the line with us right now. Scratch,
Sammy.
DJ Scratch.
Sammy.
Sammy B. Meet DJ Scratch.
Sammy B, what's up?
Salutations. Rza, what's up? Scratch, what's up, beloved?
What's going on?
Say, be quick though this time, Sammy. You went about 15 minutes last time. All right, go ahead.
Now I'm just saying. I'm just saying. He Scratch inspired me. I met him before. And there was a time I wanted to give up. And there's a video, if you could remember, you was doing do-overs, and it's a YouTube video. And the way, the passion, the way I looked at you, the way you were DJing, I said, this man has passion. He has passion. So I started watching you a lot. I listened to you on the radio. You had one of my good friends on your show too, DJ Billy Bush, on your Scratch Vision. I listened to your Scratch Vision, and you just, when you said about practice, because I never used to practice, and I had an opportunity real quick. I want to say this. I had an opportunity where I was on a big platform, and there was a lot of DJs, and I was doing too much. I was trying to be like other DJs, and I felt like I ruined that opportunity. So I want to say to you, my question to you is your first big opportunity. Was you nervous? How did you feel? And how do you keep your longevity going?
No, my first experience, I've never been nervous DJing ever. Like, it's the opposite. Like I've like it like I get excited. You know what I'm saying? Like when there's an opportunity or first time opportunity, anything like that, or the bigger the crowd, the more excited I get. So it's the opposite just for me. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying it in a cocky way. That's just my reaction to pressure. I get excited with the pressures. Some people physically get sick, they throw up on some Willie Beeman shit. They throw up before they go on stage and perform and stuff like that. What was your other? Oh, and everything else, man, is just for me. I still love to do it. It's a passion for me. I still want to get better. Like I'm 53 years old right now. I'm better than I was when I was 43. I'm better than I was when I was 33 and 23. I still want to get better. There's no ceiling on this shit, on your skill set. So for me, I was just DJing before this interview. Like I'm passionate, and for your moment, like the moment that you had where you were doing too much, you was trying to show out, and that's what you don't do. Just do your thing. Don't try to upstage anybody, because this also is a business. So if you're trying to upstage other cats, they're gonna be, oh, he's trying to show out, and then when you're trying to show out, that's when you fuck up. You know what I mean? That's when you fuck up on the turntables. But yeah, just be passionate about it. Just be passionate about it, and you'll know when to cut and scratch and when to not. When to do transitions and when to just play records.
All right, Sammy B. We told you before you're a citizen, and I got your email.
Money.
Okay. All right. So when you DJ,
have a blessed day.
You too, man.
Have a
and
blessed day, man.
When you do your guest set on our show, don't be showing off.
Just do you, baby.
Do you.
Just do you.
Sergio,
yeah, just do you.
Sergio is in Cali. Rise and shine, Sergio. What's happening?
Hey, Sergio.
What up?
Rise and shine, yo. How y'all doing?
Feeling good.
All right.
Good. So I had a question for Rza. Over the last couple of years, I've been on my own journey trying to tap into my own mental health and heal from my past traumas, and just appreciate you. I know you put out a meditation album and have been really emphasizing, meditation as a healing property. And, just wanted, to see if you can talk a little bit what's been your journey through meditation and the importance of meditation and kind of like self-reflection in terms of, dealing with our own health, especially for, boys and men of color who many times are, not taught to deal with trauma, or heal from trauma, but continue to just deal with trying to be a man and hardening up and not opening up and tapping into our emotions. So just wanted to see if you could talk a little bit about that importance of, tapping into your emotions and being able to heal from some of our past traumas using meditation and other practices like that.
Yeah, I have a slogan that meditation can be better than medication. meditation is an action of doing something, whether you're going to do it sitting still or whether you're going to walk. The best thing I can say to you now is that during it, you don't have to sit still. Sometimes sitting still doesn't, keep the chi motivated good enough to kind of meditate and let your mind go. My favorite form of meditation is moving meditation, which is long walks and contemplating while I'm walking. And one thing I think that, when you say what Buddha was trying to teach us, he was saying that man's goal is to escape the will of life and death, right? To die and come back and die. Now, we can't prove that nobody dies and come back, but we can prove every day that you will go to rest. You won't know where you at. You're going to wake up and you're back here again. You know what I mean? As the Holy Quran says, we take your soul and we give it back, right? But what Buddha is saying that if you will discover yourself through meditation, do good deeds, that self you discover when it's good, never go back to your old self. Most people go back to their old selves. If you say, okay, I'm stopped drinking is my problem, and you stop drinking, as soon as you take a drink again, you done reincarnated that guy you was trying to get away from. He said you could come back as a pig, you could come back as a bird. And those things are, even the food you eat, sometimes the personality of the food could be inside you. You could be feeling stubborn, not even knowing why, and it was the ham sandwich. You know what I mean? So once you get conscious of yourself, after the trauma, once the trauma is done, it's done in all reality. You know what I mean? The woman's greatest pain is in labor, right? And she's going through it, she's feeling it. But once you give birth to the life, the pain is gone. And the joy replaces the pain. And after a while, she won't even think about the pain no more, right? So it's the same thing with trauma, the same thing with getting away from things that you've already done. Leave it and go ahead and evolve to the better you. I hope that helps you a little bit, brother.
Sergio, did that help a little bit, man?
Thank you.
All right, you're a citizen. You're a citizen.
Sway in the morning.
Okay.
That's what's up.
God bless.
And I used to meditate. I used to do walk meditation. And I changed that because it was while I was walking, and I was eating a sandwich while I was walking, meditating, and ran into a big ass black bear.
What? You bumped into the bear? Like, excuse me?
Where was
like
this?
a few feet away, like out by my crib, and I saw it. I'm like, oh shit! And then it was another one, a small one. I'm like, okay, Yogi and Boo Boo, let me get the fuck out of here. So I just turned around, started walking. Like, they tell you don't run if you see a bear. Don't run until he starts running after you and shit. So now I meditate in the crib, turn everything off in the dark, and just meditate every morning.
Hey, did the bear see you too, Scratch?
Oh man.
What kind of sandwich you had? What kind of sandwich was that?
Good ass sandwich, Scratch.
Oh, peanut butter.
Yeah, honey on it.
Just egg salad, man. Just
The
egg salad, man. Just egg
That's
salad.
why you couldn't pay attention. You had gas bubbles eating the egg salad sandwich.
Bong bong, man.
Bong, bong. Hey,
Struggle to the bubble.
hey, man, struggle to the bubble, baby. There you go, Tracy. There you go. You know, hey, man, I love y'all. You know, if I don't tell you enough, Scratch, I love you, brother. I sat on that very couch that you sitting on. I did an episode
Yes,
of
sir.
Scratch Vision. Okay, Rza, you know I love you. Come on, man. You
Brother,
know, our
yes,
families, our families are intertwined, and our legacies are intertwined. And you immortalized Tech and me when you had those two young men. By the way, the young man that played King Tech in season 2 is Carmelita Sanchez's son, who is also the star of Cobra Kai now. So Carmelita it was Sway Tech. Carmelita was always, she's a part of the show. She was the gatekeeper for us. And so it just came full circle. And it's amazing. The project is amazing. I'd love to have you guys on again. Rza, I definitely want to continue these kind of conversations. Saturday afternoon, Kung Fu Theater is out now. I'm going to end with Fate of the World, but if you guys want to reach out to them, do it directly, okay? Hit them up. There's a lot of questions. This listening to this project made me feel like I was reading a book.
Yes.
And Bobby Digital is in the battle. Who wins, Bobby Digital or RZA? In a skill battle, MC battle.
Saga continue.
You gotta wait to see. You gotta watch to see.
Oh, okay. I see what's going on. All right. Okay. Well, listen, man, that concludes our show. Heather, I know you headed to Urban View.
Yep, headed to Urban View. It's Soul Food Thursday. Recipes and tips for your bar, for your table, and of course for your soul. You can hit me up at the Happy Hour WHB, doing recipes and tips at channel 126 in about 7 minutes. Thanks, y'all. God bless. Good luck with everything.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Guys are beautiful. Peace.
All right, y'all.